In this video, I'm gonna be revealing the tips that you need to absolutely dominate in college. Now listen, these tips allowed me to not only maximize my academic performance, but they allowed me to go to the gym regularly and develop a crazy physique. They allowed me to go on multiple dates a week with very attractive women. They allowed me to also start building my personal brand at the same time. Now look, this video is only for high achievers who are tired of being one-dimensional. Let's get right into it. Listen, tip number one is that you have to shift your mindset, right? College is the start of the rest of your life. College is your opportunity to actually become the man or woman that you've always wanted to be. It's your time to become truly independent, right? From your parents, from your home, your guardians. Now, what does that mean, Remy? Well, let me tell you this. When I was in high school, I was never really outgoing. I sort of kept to myself. I would study a lot. I never went out of my way to meet new people or, they just sort of, I was friends with my friends, right? And I didn't make an effort to go and network or meet with new people. But listen, in college, it is imperative that you network. It's imperative that you make connections with as many people as possible because honestly, the connections you make in college might be more valuable than the actual education you get in college. I mean, after all the information is democratized. It's all available to us on the internet, right? College just provides that structure. So the education piece can be honestly acquired without going to college, but the connections that you make could set you up for very, very big opportunities in the future. And honestly, I think that the connections and the networking that you do in college is probably more correlated to success after college than the actual education part. So you need to shift your mindset from being sort of kept to yourself, putting your head down and grinding to actually becoming social and learning how to network. So stop staying in your dorm, meet some people, go out on the weekends, do these things to sort of start meeting new people, build connections, and don't think that you need to just grind in college because listen, if you spend all of your time just grinding and trying to get the best grades, which is a valuable pursuit, but listen, there's more to college than just the grades. And if you learn how to network properly, college is going to be an amazing experience for you. Okay, the second part of this sort of mindset shift that you need to have is you need to prioritize self-improvement over everything, right? So like I said, going to college is your opportunity to become the man or woman that you've always wanted to be, right? And so you need to actually do the habits, do the things that are going to get you there. You need to focus on developing traits and virtues like discipline, resilience, courage, all of these things that are going to absolutely be invaluable to you later on in your life if you haven't already developed them. In college, you should constantly be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Another mindset shift that not only applies to college, but just young early career professionals, you need to prioritize learning before earning, right? Alex Hormozi says this best, right? But basically, a lot of young people are so eager to just get out of college, get out of class, and start making money. The problem is most people do not choose carefully enough because they'll go to where they think they'll make more money in the short term, but then they actually sacrifice the skills and knowledge that they could be getting at a lower paying position, right? So whenever you're young, you need to be prioritizing the learning that you're doing because the more learning, the more knowledge, the more experience that you can get, the higher your earning potential will be later on in life. If you sacrifice your earning potential by going off onto some high-paying job where you're not really learning much, where you're sort of stuck in this dead-end, repetition of everyday life, then you're not going to actually have the earning potential that you could have. So if you're a young adult, if you're in college, always prioritize learning before earning. Okay, the second tip is that you need to create systems. Now, like I said, these tips are here to allow you to not only maximize your academic performance, but also get fit, also go on dates and improve your social life, also build your personal brand, start posting on social media, right? These are a lot of things that you're going to be handling at once. So if you do not have systems in place, you are going to fall behind, you are going to get overwhelmed, and you're going to burn out. So there are 3 systems that you need to have when you're in college, right? You need to have a learning system, you need to have a fitness system, and you need to have a social system. Now, I'm not gonna go into the nitty-gritty of how to develop these systems, but I am gonna give you a high-level overview so that you sort of get what I'm talking about. So the first part into creating a system is identifying those activities and habits that are going to move the needle the most when it comes to improving in that area. So for example, with the learning system, you need to have active recall sessions in there. You need to have study sessions, time blocks that you have in your schedule where you are going to go and sit down and study and use active recall and all of the good studying techniques that are out there. The same thing for fitness, right? What's going to move the needle the most? Well, first of all, your diet and your exercise. You need to plan when you're going to work out during the week, right? If you're just going willy-nilly, you just go on a whim whenever you feel like it, you're not going to make the progress that you want, because consistency is key and discipline also needs to play a part. You can't just do things whenever you want to do them. And this is how a system is so useful, because essentially you have these things scheduled so you don't have to go off your whims, right? You can just go on autopilot and do things without thinking, right? And then for the social system and dating system, you need to be going out, right? So you need to have days of the week, maybe on the weekends or whatever days work for you, whatever times work for you, to go and socialize. I mean going out to frat parties, I mean going out to clubs. And yes, a lot of you may think that this is contradictory to sort of the self-improvement lifestyle, but I'll tell you what, you're not gonna really meet people unless you go and actually go out to socialize, right? And the amount of people that I've met at frat parties, at clubs, that are now a part of my life is tremendous, and it is a great place to socialize. Also, just making friends with the frats and doing these things to sort of build your reputation up in college is also a nice byproduct of being social and going out on the weekends, right? So don't think that just because you're in college, you can't go out on the weekends. Now, here's the thing. When you do go out on the weekends, you can't go crazy. You can't just, absolutely get wasted and then the next day you just can't do anything, right? This is going to hold you back. This is going to actually halt your progress, right? Because you need to be doing these other habits, and these habits need to be completed every day, right? And so if you have one day where you're just out of commission completely, it's not the best, right? So go, you can have fun, but don't go too crazy. The third and final way on how to absolutely dominate in college is to say yes to as much as is reasonably possible. And now, what I mean by this is that in college, especially if you're a freshman or early in college, is a time for exploration. It's a time for personal growth. It's a time for adventure, right? And so you're gonna have a lot of people asking you to go do things. And my advice to you is to go and do them, to go on adventures, right? As long as it's safe, right? And the people that are inviting you aren't like criminals or doing bad things. But going out, going to social events, going out with people, saying yes to dates, saying yes to like dinners with friends, and all these things are just going to be very valuable. It's going to allow you to build connection. It's going to give you an outlet in terms of all of the stress that you have doing your studying and your fitness system. And the other thing that you need to say yes to are like events around the school. So if you have like seminars talking about a specific career, or you have career planning events or whatever, I think these seminars and events are extremely valuable. Because if you're anything like me, you probably don't exactly know what you want to do with your life. And that's not a bad thing, right? I'm young, you're probably young as well. And even if you aren't young, you can always pivot what you decide to do in life. But I'm trying to discover what my true purpose is, as you probably are too. And so you probably don't know it at this moment. And the only way to actually expand your awareness into what you can actually do in your life, you need to be going and exploring different fields and exploring different things, right? Meeting new people in different careers, researching different fields, trying courses out in different fields. I mean, I at one point was like, okay, you know what? I might be interested in data analytics, right? Big data, AI, all of these things are being thrown in our face. And so why not learn about this, right? I took a course on Coursera, the IBM data analytics course, and I did it. I tried it out to see, is this something I like, right? And if it is something you like, amazing, keep exploring. If it isn't something you like, that is completely fine. You cancel it out, right? Because it's oftentimes finding what you truly want to do in life is not a matter of like picking a thing. It's often a process of elimination. It's often finding what you really don't like to do and then canceling those out and exploring fields that do not include those things that you don't like to do. Like personally, I'm sorry, I just don't like coding, right? Like I cannot sit at a computer and just program for hours. Some people love it. Some people are just, they just eat it up, right? Me, I just can't. I'm not that type of person. And I know that. And so I know I'm not going to become a software engineer, right? But that's fine. I eliminated that off the checklist and now I'm exploring other things, right? So my advice to you, say yes, go out, go do social things, go to events, go to seminars, go to coaching events, whatever is around your school, and explore. But yeah, guys, so, I wanted to make this video because I know a lot of you might be in college, might be late high school, and y'all need to know how to absolutely dominate in college, because you don't want to waste that time. You want to make the most of it, and there's not a lot of time that you get. And you know, I did my first term of my freshman year of university, so I know a thing or two, and I can tell you I've learned a lot from my mistakes. And so take my advice, and yeah guys, thank you for watching. Peace out.